where they can find you at.
They can find me on Facebook at Alexia Sims, real name, no fake stuff. But if you need me on the business side, Village Academy, we are always enrolling.
Cool.
419-720-5355. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Take care, sis. Thank you so much. Man, listen.
So another thing with public schools having these issues is like Toledo, the city of Toledo wants to attract businesses. And no business, or not even business, not just business, but business or families are going to move to a city that's having problems with public schools, because most people with lower middle class incomes are going to go to public schools because they can't afford private schools. So those are most people moving from job to job,
right,
from city to city. So if you're having problems with public schools, no one wants to move to a city that's having these problems, businesses or families. So that's one thing that the city has to realize.
Yeah. But
not just us as residents, but the city of Toledo has to realize that, okay, public schools are important for us to flourish as a city.
Yeah. But again, those are conversations, Jesse, that people don't want to address. They don't want to talk about the elephant in the room. Like, they don't want to address that. They don't want to talk about the real. I've noticed through time, this city has a way of sweeping things underneath the rug and hoping that it never comes back to appear, but it comes back to bite them hard. And so what you're saying, I totally agree with you, because you want to build a city, but the infrastructure of the city is tore up.
Yeah,
it's tore up, and I know that the city council have to vote on a budget, so that even the city is having some budget issues right now. But at the end of the day, you get what you get. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same result. And so it's time for there to be fresh new leadership with fresh ideas and being very innovating to create some things to bring our city back. And it's hard, because I was actually looking at Josh Williams, who's running for Marcy Kaptur's seat. I just really thought about it. There needs to be term limits. Like, it need to be term. You should not be in the same seat for 43 years. How can we ever move forward and do what we're supposed to do and create this positive change or create this narrative of a greater America when we got people that is just old, sitting in the seat, stuck in their ways and their thoughts? And so we just continue to keep voting the same just because it's Democrat, because it's Republican or independent. No, we just going to keep doing the same thing and keep getting the same results. So that's my little take on that. What do you think, Tyrone?
I agree. Like you said, there needs to be fresh ideas, fresh ways of thinking, new ways of thinking. I also agree with what Jesse said about the schools. It all starts with the city also. You can't attract things to something that's not attractive, if you will. So, and just like Miss Sims said, we got to get to these meetings. I went to one and it was a pretty good turnout, but there needs to be more people at these meetings, because now you can't play the role of, oh, I didn't know, when they've been having meetings for months.
Right.
Like you said, they're free meetings. They even put one on a Saturday. So if you had to work during the week, you could get to that one. But they're trying their best to get this information out to you so you know what's going on. They even ask you questions. How do you feel about the busing? How do you feel about athletics? And then they have breakouts where you go into the cafeteria, you sit at a table, and a TPS person talks to you about all these issues. And then they take them back, feedback, to see what people are saying about these things. So